Hi everyone, and welcome to our Fireside Chat today with us at HubSpot. Today's topic would be about how sales can help you grow, and we'll specifically focus on the aspect that it can help you grow and develop into different career paths, especially since at HubSpot, we have a growth path for everyone starting in sales or an option to move into different departments with our internal mobility policy. So before we start, I would love to introduce our lovely panelists today, Eva, Prash, and Rebecca, for joining us, and I would like them to quickly introduce themselves, their background, and what their current role is here at HubSpot.
Yeah, I'm happy to jump in. My name is Aoife. I am my current role, I suppose, at the moment is I'm an onboarding specialist here at HubSpot. My background is not in onboarding. Before I joined HubSpot, I was working in a wine shop. I studied translation studies and languages, and then I ended up on our ISC team. So, yeah.
Cool. Didn't know that about you, Aoife, though. But yeah, that's I'm currently in the customer success team in the UKI mid market, and prior to this, I was in the sales team, and prior to HubSpot, I was in product marketing. So in a way, I kind of fulfill the flywheel, attract, engage, and delight. So I'm currently in the delight stage, and yeah, that's me.
Good. Yeah, I'm on the BDR team at the minute. Before that, I actually was on the same team as Prash when I first came to HubSpot. And then before HubSpot, I worked in finance in mortgages in a bank. So very different to where I am now, but yeah, great spin of activities.
It's really like a lot of different backgrounds you guys have as well, and it's cool that everybody seems to just like ended up as like in sales as well, even though you have like totally different background. So before we dive deeper into the questions, this is something I always like to bring up in all of our fireside chat, because HubSpot is a hybrid company that allows their employees to work from home, office, or flex wherever we have a location. So for me, for example, I'm working from Munich, Germany. Even though we have an office in Berlin, I opted for the remote option. So I'm just curious where are all of you joining us from today, and what option did you pick out? Rebecca, you want to start?
Yeah, sure. I picked the flex option. I'm based in Dublin and I'm actually at home at the minute, but I tend to go in maybe once or twice a week for the free food and socializing usually. But yeah, I love the mix of it because I find some days are busier than others and you just want to stay home and kind of get it all done. And then other days you just like to have some chats while working as well. So I like having the mix of everything, but yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I'm with you, Vanessa. I'm remote. My home office is the Dublin office. I'm based just outside of Dublin. I like it because it means I get to spend time with my dog. That's the dog. But I've been lucky enough so far this year to have spent time in Barcelona as well as Berlin with the flexible working that we have and our mobility policy. So yeah, won't be here for long.
Cool. I actually opted for office, and the reason being I have a 1-year-old at home. I just don't have the privacy to work. I tried working for a week and just wasn't productive. So yeah, every day I've been coming to the office just so, but it's fun, like the socializing part and the free food, of course. Yeah, that's always lovely.
That's definitely something to envy from working remotely, is that like you guys get free food and like I have to nip off my own home cupboard. But I think you guys also like slightly mentioned your tasks a bit, but you just mind mentioning, because all of you have different roles, just slightly about what your day-to-day looks like as well. And we'll start off with you, Prash, since you were last.
Yeah, so my day-to-day, I basically own around 150 customers in my book of business, and my day-to-day basically looks like grabbing a coffee, the very first thing I do when I come to the office, very important. And then after that, I move on to checking my calendar. It's basically I work off my calendar. That's my to-do list. So if it's not in the calendar, it doesn't exist. So I'll review that, review my proactive to-do list. And basically the whole day is a mix of customer calls, escalations. Hopefully those aren't many, but escalations, one-on-one with managers, team meetings, and so on and so forth. I would say it's a mix of 80% proactive and 20% reactive. So yeah, that's what my day-to-day kind of looks like.
Ooh,
Thanks. I can go next if you like. My day is similar to Prash. I need my morning coffee to start. And then my day is mapped out in my calendar as well. So I would do a lot of outreach and kind of prospecting clients. So I could do calls, Zooms, email, LinkedIn, and I kind of just break up my day for each kind of category and then work through it. Besides that, there's a lot of one-to-ones with managers, with account executives. I kind of collab with them a lot, and yeah, just colleagues catching up, coffee catch-ups, that kind of thing. But yeah, the weeks tend to fly by so far. So yeah, that's how I get on.
glad we all have coffee catch-ups in common.
Yes.
Yes, there is a lot of coffee in my day, but kind of similar. Once that part of my morning's over, I walk my dog. He spends a lot of time with me, but we'll go to the beach or we'll chill out here, and I kind of have the power to start my day whenever I like. So, like Prash and Rebecca, we get to just organize that morning, but it is checking to see for the first hour where my customers are at, if anybody has any urgent questions, making sure they're looked after, making sure that anything throughout the day emergency-wise comes up, but from about 10 then till 3, it's customer time. So I spend a lot of time on Zoom with them, and yeah, catch ups with everybody else towards the end of the day. I like to leave the afternoon free.
Oh, lovely. And yes, coffee is like a number one essential, I think, for all HubSpotters as well. Like coffee is like the most important thing for us to have. And it seems like a lot of you, or like all of you, have like customer touch points as like something in common. But it also seems like you guys deal with customers in a different way. Do you just want to like explain briefly, or somebody just explain briefly, like how all 3 different roles, there's a different aspects in like customer touch points? Rebecca, do you want to start off?
Yeah, sure. So my role is a lot of prospecting. So I would kind of reach out to potential clients or clients using the free version of HubSpot and see what they're doing now, what they'd like to be doing better, if there's any gaps or anything like that, and seeing if HubSpot's a good fit, where we might be able to help, and then kind of putting them in touch with the product specialist so they can kind of go down into a deeper conversation and see how HubSpot could potentially help their business. And that's kind of my role in a nutshell. And then it would go on to the Prash and Eva from there if once they go ahead with it. So I can pass over to them.
Yeah, I guess I inherit the customers that Rebecca's product specialists sell to. I'm their first touch point usually when they go through an onboarding. So onboarding is designed to get them set up. So they come in and they say they want to do certain things with their business. And it's exciting because no 2 businesses, even if the industry is the same, they're just not the same. So it's very interesting. But then towards the end of it, I actually work with Prash's team. So we'll work with the customer success manager to kind of introduce them, because they become the long-term point of contact then. So nice intro, Prash. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's like seamless process from Rebecca, Eva. And yeah, finally they end up with me. And my role is mainly, I'll be the main point of contact for the customers. And my goal is really to make sure that they see value with their HubSpot investment. And the difference, I would say, with the sales and customer success, the relationship would be, sales would be more with regards to the transactional relationship in that sense, and my job is more long-term relationship. So my cadence something would look like 6 calls, 6 to 8 calls every year, and I have 150 customers, so that's a lot of calls. So yeah, that's basically how the call cadence and how the communication goes on with my customers. Yeah.
Oh, all right. I love that there was a flow in all of the job roles as well. That was really cool. And because all of you, I know that all of you started off as an inbound success coach, right? But it's just interesting how all of you developed outside of your role, because I know that at HubSpot, the usual growth path is that you start off as an inbound success coach and then end up like Rebecca as a business development representative. So what led to how did your growth journey happen here at HubSpot, and what led to the different decisions in the career path? Aoife, do you want to start off?
Yeah, I think it was the realization for me that I didn't really want to go into a career in sales. It just wasn't the most exciting thing for me. But it was something I was kind of nervous about bringing to my manager at the time. And I said, I don't want to be a BDR. And she said, that's so fine. Let's see what else we can do with you. But we looked at like the things that I liked doing and the things that I was good at in ISC. I love the technical part. I really like our product. I really like talking about it. It's easy because it's good, but I love figuring out problems. I'm a problem solver. So it made sense for me to go into something like onboarding where you learn about a business very quickly and then help them decide on a ramping plan. It's a lot of kind of technical conversation that you can have, but yeah, it was kind of based off of what I was enjoying in ISC that made me choose this path less taken, but I'm glad I did.
Yeah, my growth journey was basically, so CSM wasn't my plan A, to be honest. That was plan B. Plan A was product marketing, which I didn't get through. Which kind of shows you how HubSpot is very open for you to explore different opportunities if something doesn't work out. But yeah, I've been enjoying CSM so far. And why I chose this was, again, like a lot of transferable skills that I could bring in and offer from my ISC experience. Like Eva mentioned, the product knowledge, the technical knowledge that you get from ISC is really helpful. And also the interactions, the consulting interactions that you get with the customers is also essential for my CSM role, so I could transfer and bring that here. And why CSM was because like it's such a versatile role. So I was like, hey, even if I didn't like CSM at the end of it, I was like, okay, I can still move into literally like marketing or sales or service and so on and so forth. So yeah, that was my journey.
Yeah, I don't mind chatting. Mine was very straightforward. I started as an ISC. I was on the same team as Prash actually, and then I went from ISC to a VSB team. So it was like an experimental sales team. And then from there, I joined the BDR team just in May, just gone. And yeah, I loved ISC because I didn't have a tech background. So it gave me such a good grounding for the product and how it works and everything like that. For a sales point of view, I love the buzz of sales. Targets don't bother me. Like I'm happy to do targets, all of that. I liked learning to navigate different conversations because you do get everything as an ISC. So it's kind of good to like see how everyone reacts and what they ask and everything like that. I'm sure Ethan Prash remember. And then now, like the skills I've learned as an IC have definitely come through as a BDR and everything, and I'm using them every day. So yeah, I love the buzz of sales. But it's good to see we've all ended up somewhere different.
Cool, very cool. I love like the inspirational way, like how everyone just started to like find out about themselves and their interests, starting off at the ISC role as well. And it seems like all of you had like some touch points with like sales in a way as well, like you, Eva and Prash mentioned a bit in their ISC role before. So do you guys mind just like sharing what surprised you the most about a career in sales, or like what was like a stereotype in sales that kind of got debunked when you started off at HubSpot? We can continue with Rebecca.
Yeah, sure. So I joined the sales to try it out and see if I'd like it. But if I'm honest, I thought it would be a lot of hard sales and just sell and get your targets. But I quickly learned in HubSpot it is really solving for the customer, and you want whatever they have to show value to them. And that's the whole thing, like the path through Aoife then and onboarding Prash, that they get all the service the whole way around. And if they're not going to see the value in it, they're not going to be happy with it. So I feel like I actually am selling them something that they need, or they will see value in. So yeah, I really enjoy it because I know I'm helping the customer and just doing the buzz of sales and talking to them every day. So that'll be my point.
I always picture Matilda's dad, the car salesman when people say sales. The biggest stereotype debunked for me was that salespeople never sleep. that they're always awake, always chasing a deal. It was not the case, at least for me. At the end of the day, 5 o'clock would hit and I would close my computer and I can spend time with family, not think about work, not have to be constantly reactive. And that was really nice to not have to do that. So it was a huge relief to know that, when we talk about work-life balance, it's not like a myth. It is what you make it. So if you want to use that time, and we do have a lot of lovely time to use, you're encouraged to. But that was the nicest part for me.
Yeah, and when I joined sales, I thought, being an introvert would kind of hold me back because, I wasn't really outgoing extrovert that I perceived, all the salespeople to be. But then I realized that in order to sell to everyone, I had to adapt my style to different audiences and the likes. And it's not really about the personality type, but really the learned skill. And even like some of the prospects I was interacting with, they were introverts and they kind of appreciated my approach, my thoughtful approach and the like. So yeah, and also being like, it helps being an active listener, which is very useful and key in the sales org. So yeah, that's the one thing that really surprised me.
Nice. I think that's like something that people don't really see on the outside, that it's all about like actually personalization, being there for the customer, and also like being really flexible with the different aspects of customer that you deal with as well, because every customers are different, and you don't just send 100 email and in the same way, but you really have to tender it to all of the different customers, how their personalities are as well. And I really love that about like how we do it at HubSpot, that we really solve for the customers, and it's just for the customers. We don't like push the product down their throat, and we make sure that they make a use out of it as well. And speaking of like working for the customers and things like that, what is the most rewarding part about your job? Prash, do you want to start?
Yeah, I mean, the rewarding part, like I mentioned, is really the strategic consulting side of my role as a customer success manager, and really helping people, whether is the problems that they are facing, the questions that needs to be answered, or even like finding an efficient way for them to reach their goal, and like just at the end of the day, simply ease their frustration when that arises. So that's the part that I really love about the role. And again, like I mentioned, the versatility of the role. So that kind of puts me in a good place when it comes to the future of my career. So yeah, that's the favorite part of customer success. Yeah.
I agree. For me, it's probably three things. Like the autonomy is super, but that's not a given in a lot of places. So it's easy to brush over sometimes, but it's the people, both internally and externally. So your colleagues, then the helpfulness that they bring, but it's so rewarding to be able to mirror that helpfulness with your customers. I've been at HubSpot for nearly 3 years now, so have seen the pandemic in HubSpot in its full. The creative businesses that came out of the pandemic that we have gotten to work with, and they then come back and say, you helped us go from startup to scale up and beyond. That's immeasurable. It's unreal. So that's definitely a perk, I would say. But also the third part, the impact that you get to have. You have your core role at HubSpot, and that's amazing. But you also have the ability to get involved with projects that impact HubSpot internally as well, and that's also not a given in a lot of places. So it's really cool to be able to do that. Very rewarding.
Yeah, for me, it's both of what Ethan Pratt has said as well. So kind of echoing on that. I also like that your career path kind of, for like, I've chosen the sales route, it's all mapped out, and I have to do this, I'll get the next promotion. Everything is mapped out, so you have your whole career path ahead of you and you can work towards it as quickly or as how fast you want. So that was something that really enticed me. And I know in a lot of companies that can kind of be a blurred line, and you might do the work and you never get there. So I thought that was really good that, you know, you do the work, you actually will keep moving on and progressing in your career. And yeah, just what the others have said, like the colleagues are unbelievable, the collaboration between teams, everyone's there to help you, talking to all the clients, learning about the different businesses. There's never a dull day, I would say. But yeah, loads.
Cool. It's making me like feel a lot of like tingly feelings and have butterflies in my stomach a bit as well, because it's such great like how you guys speak about your roles. So like in this good feeling right now, why should a student consider, or why should a student consider like starting off like you guys did in sales? Rebecca, do you want to go?
Yeah, sure. I think the sales role is invaluable, especially if you're coming from college and you might not have any work experience. It's really good to learn like your soft skills, learning, you know, communication methods, to be resilient, just get a grounding in an actual company. And then as well, I suppose it's just what kind of even Prash said, like we all learned our own traits and what we actually like doing, what our strengths were, and we all played into that. Like we're all perfect results of going 3 opposite directions from where we started. So yeah, I would say you learn a lot about yourself as well as picking up on skills for future careers if you find it's not for you as well.
I was the student that kind of came to HubSpot. So when I came into sales, I actually didn't really know what I wanted to do. And the role came up, and it was an opportunity for me to like use my second language. And that was really attractive to me. But you should consider a role like sales because you actually get to interact with all of the other departments at HubSpot. So you'll really get to know on a very deep level what all the other roles that you could possibly go into are for. So like Rebecca says, you learn the skills to be able to pivot into the other roles, and you do lean on an awful lot of them, but it means that you're well equipped because you then know the other teams really well also. And I'm sure Prash, Rebecca, you've heard it as well. Internally, ISCs, the team that we came from, we ramp really fast because we are constantly doing things, always multitasking, collaborating with other teams. So it sets you up for a really nice life in HubSpot afterwards, I would say too.
Yeah, I mean, echoing what Aoife and Rebecca mentioned, really the transferable skills that you learn in the IC role and in sales in general. I mean, this might not sound like the best motivational motivation for you, but there's going to be a lot of ups and downs, especially in sales. But then it really sets you up with the grit and resilience that you need for the upcoming, future when you move into other roles. So that's really key. And the communication skills I would really, double click on, which can be even for your personal life is very useful. So that's a great role to start off with, to step in and then kind of, explore your interest and then go on from there. Yeah.
You become an extrovert, Prash.
I couldn't agree more. Those are really good points of why someone should start in sales as well, to really like discover themselves a bit, which leads me to my last question for the round today. What advice would you give somebody who is unsure about how to grow in their careers right now? Aoife, do you want to start?
I would say try it. Whatever the it might be. If it is something like a sales role that pops up at HubSpot, in the worst case scenario, it's not for you. You can move internally. It's something that you have flexibility in. But if it's not HubSpot, it's still always going to pay off to try something instead of wondering, what if I didn't do this? I think the greatest things have come around for me when I've least expected them. So I don't know. I wouldn't have had those opportunities had I not taken the leap. I actually thought I was interviewing for a different role. I didn't do my research when I came to HubSpot, and the hiring manager said to me, "Do you know what? You'd actually be great for this team." So it worked out for the best. But yeah, I would definitely say try it and leverage people like us on LinkedIn. We're not too bad. We don't bite. So do ask the questions if you're curious.
Yeah, I mean that's the one that I was gonna mention, the LinkedIn part. Thanks, Aoife. But yeah, please like leverage, reach out to people who are already in a role that might interest you. LinkedIn is a great platform to kind of reach out, network, and get to know their perspective, and then you can assess and make your decision. That would be the only advice I have if you're kind of confused. And yeah, I mean, the three of us and are open to engaging. Hopefully, I'm not speaking for Aoife and Rebecca, but yeah, any advice you might need. But yeah.
Yeah, mine would be the exact same. Like, we're used to chatting to people. We've done it ourselves, chatted to people in different teams to see what they do. So definitely like connect with us on LinkedIn, chat to us. And the same as what Aoife said, I'd rather have no regrets than wonder what if. So even if you do a role and you hate it, then at least you know you hate that role and you'll move away from it. Like, you always learn something about yourself or what you might want to do. So yeah, nothing is ever a waste. And yeah, if it is HubSpot, I think the ISC role is a really good place to start, and then you can branch out from there and see what your interests are.
Definitely. I think like the what ifs thing is definitely something to cross out of your mind, and something I can't live with either. So like it's always like HubSpot is like a really cool place to start because of the internal mobility policy as well, that like you guys can really branch out and try to discover other things that would be of interest to you and would be your passion in the end. And with that great note from everyone, I would like to thank everyone for joining in. I hope this session was helpful for you. If you want to watch more Fireside Chats like this or follow for more, just follow us here on HubSpot Live on our YouTube page, or if you just want quick snippets and like quick tips and tricks, we also have a TikTok page called Student Spot where we share a lot of details about how to progress in your career and your student life as well. So with that, I would like to thank all our panelists today for joining us, and we'll see everyone next time.